Got a business with Stephen then. Starting with some stellar results. This is Facebook you're talking about, isn't it?
The big numbers at Facebook just keep getting bigger. Profits at the social network jumped by more than 70% between April and June to just under $4 billion. Facebook now has more than 2 billion users logging into the site every month. Maintaining that growth could be tricky though. The company's been warning for a year now that it's reaching saturation in advertising in its news feeds. Anke Ulla has more.
Is Facebook getting too big to grow? As early as last year, the company began warning investors of slowing ad revenue growth, saying its ad-heavy news feed was quickly reaching its saturation point. Fast forward a year, and the social media company is still beating expectations. Its profits are up 71%, revenues up 45%, and it's clocking in more than 2 billion monthly users. But Facebook's executives maintain a slowdown is on the horizon. The stellar performance, they say, is due to slashed operating costs and a boost in the cost of individual ads, which increased 24% this quarter. The company's total 2017 ad revenue is projected to grow by 35%, compared to more than 50% in 2016. The focus now is building up Facebook's other ventures, including messaging apps like WhatsApp and Messenger, along with Instagram. Facebook is beta testing advertising on its Messenger app, but CEO Mark Zuckerberg says setting up a steady profit stream could take years.
We're trying to communicate that the pace of growing the Messenger business is a long-term thing. The much bigger driver of the business and determinant of how we do is going to be video.
The company is buying original video programming and has been testing ads that appear partway through Facebook videos. It's also invested in temporary video sharing across all its platforms, mimicking Snapchat's Stories feature. Facebook reported more than 250 million people now use the features on both Instagram and WhatsApp.
Another US story now. We're going to talk about the Taiwanese manufacturer Foxconn announcing a major investment.
The company, which is a major supplier to Apple, is to spend $10 billion on a new factory in Wisconsin. The plant will make LCD panels and create at least 3,000 jobs in the state. Foxconn says it will be the first in a series of facilities the company is planning to build in the United States. The announcement a coup for President Donald Trump, who said the investment wouldn't have happened if he hadn't been elected. Local people have welcomed the news.
I can't picture him putting us in a deal where we're going to be a loss. By getting a plant this large, we're going to be at a loss. I can't picture us losing on this plant.
Depending on where it's going to be, since we don't really know yet, just around the area, people have to eat, people have to do a lot of different things, and, I think it might bring in business to around the area or close to see what we have down here.
I think it's a great thing for the community. I mean, it's the potential for creating so many jobs is there, and it puts a lot of people to work.
Now, today is a bumper day for company results in Europe. Some traders calling it the day of hell, negotiating through those figures. Let's take you through some of the big names that have reported so far. Samsung Electronics seeing its biggest ever quarterly profits of around €8.5 billion. That's down to growing sales of parts like semiconductors or display panels, which account for 70% of the South Korean company's earnings. Its latest smartphone, the Galaxy S8, has also been outselling its predecessor. Airbus is disappointed with its latest results, with a fall of more than a quarter in adjusted profits between April and June. The aerospace giant says problems in engines for the A320neo plane will slow down deliveries this year. Airbus shares down 3.6% at the open in Paris. And Deutsche Bank has seen a sharp rise in profits in the past 3 months. Its pre-tax earnings were double the same period last year at €822 million. The bank benefiting from lower legal costs, but CEO John Cryan has warned that profitability was still short of their goals. Shares down over 4% in Frankfurt.
Day of hell markets then, Stephen. How are they?
It's very busy out there. European shares mostly opening the day down at the start of trading. Banks and utilities, the biggest sectors, seeing falls at the open. In Paris, the French telecoms company Orange is seeing its shares down 2.7% after its results. Volkswagen shares down over 1% after their results. That's the picture at the open in those figures. Actually, I can tell you those markets are all in the red. So those figures aren't quite correct. Let's Let's take a look at the figures for Asia, though. Samsung Electronics, of course, dominating the South Korean stock market. The South Korean Kospi up by over 1/3 there. Not too much movement in Samsung shares, though, and some gains in Tokyo and in Hong Kong as well.
Stephen, thanks a lot. Stephen with Business on France 24.